everybody, I'm Len Fridman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Wellness Living. Welcome to another edition of the CEO Tour. Today, we're still in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, my hometown, but we got a really special episode here today because we're at Iron Lion Training. This place is phenomenal. We're gonna be meeting with Steph and Ron. They're the two owners of this amazing place, and they have an amazing story. And also, they are our one of the Stand With Studio grant winners. So we're gonna go hear their story, check out their facility. We're gonna do a class. We're gonna do all of that right now. But let's get inside and check it out. All right, so we got Ron and Steph here, owners of Iron Lion Training, and this is a husband and wife duo that started this amazing place. This is my favorite part of the whole CEO tour, where I get to hear the story of how everything happened here, how it started. So take it away. Like, how did you start it? What made you start a fitness?
We were working in fitness prior to this. My wife was training people out of the big box gym setting, and she was simultaneously fighting as a boxer. I myself was doing online nutrition counseling for a big nutrition company, and I was training, and I was a power lifter and things of that nature. And we saw a lot of things in the fitness world that we would actually prefer to see done differently, and so we felt like it became our mandate to do fitness differently. And
in the big box gym, I noticed a lot of women specifically were seeking me out to learn strength training and go to the spaces of the gym that they didn't really feel comfortable or confident. So when I was in the commercial space, we started with boot camps, similar to what I've heard about your background. So I had a powerlifting program and I had a boxing program. My boxing program was the #1 in Canada in that big box gym. So we started interviewing people and asking them, like, why do you keep coming back? What is it about what we do specifically? And they told us we make them feel safe.
Safety was a big part of it.
And it took us by surprise. Like, people don't feel safe going into these spaces. And it's not so much safety, it's just the fear of being judged, the fear of not fitting in, the fear of doing something wrong, all these fears that take away from the experience of being healthy. So we decided that we were going to fix everything. We were going to fix everything. And we were going to create the space because we both loved the work. It was the environment that we wanted to do a little bit differently. And in our environment, we focus on teaching everybody wherever they're at. So it's come as you are. We don't make anybody feel silly. We try to approach it like kids. We try to have fun. We try to dress up sometimes. Sometimes we do choreo, which we'll do with you later. But we try to make it something that when you come to the space and you go up those stairs, you don't feel like, oh, I'm going to the gym. It's like you look forward to seeing your friends. You look forward to getting stronger. You look forward to working towards your goals. And that's what it is. It's consistency. So that's what we created here. And we try to foster that environment as best we can.
That's amazing. And you've built a tremendous community here, right? Which really kind of separates you from those big box sort of gym chains where everyone's kind of treated like a number. You guys have a completely different approach where you guys know everybody by name.
Absolutely.
Right?
For sure. That community element is so important to us. It's sort of like you're pointing out, the opposite of the big box style, where we want everyone to come in and hit every one of their sessions. We're not worried about you wearing out the equipment. You know what I mean? Come in and wear out the barbells. You know what I mean? It's great. And there's this element with us where in that community you can start to feel like you can be yourself. You know what I mean? And you can find your own fitness path that makes sense for you, that might not be the same as the Instagram influencer or the person down the road or whatever, but is real and is sustainable and helps you take that one step forward. So that's what we love to do. And if we can help you make a bunch of steps forward, we would love to do that too. My favorite things is working with maybe a woman who used to think 15 pounds was heavy and now they can deadlift 200. Yeah. That's such a game changer, I think, for everyone, and I just love to see it happen.
Yeah, and just watching those clients like progress from just what you said, like lifting little weights to lifting like really like good, respectable weights, and the confidence that they gain from that they help, you help them achieve that goal it must be super rewarding.
That's so fulfilling. Yeah, no, I love that part, absolutely. And when people tell me that something we've done here has created like a real life change for them, now I can do such and such. I can carry all my luggage at the airport. I can play with my kids for as long as I want. You know what I mean? I don't get winded, etc. Those are the real, those are the cherries on top, absolutely.
That's amazing. And I know, like, just from talking to people, like people that don't necessarily work out or may view it as a chore, like when you transition in your mindset and it's actually a reward to be able to come to a place like this, experience a sense of community, improve yourself as other people are improving, helping you improve. It turns into like a reward, so people feel like, hey, this is a treat to me to be able to come here and do the exercise, do the workouts, and do the variety. And you guys have a ton of variety here, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So talk us through some of the classes, some of the services you guys offer.
Sure. Well, resistance training is really important, and I don't think it's stressed enough. I think it needs to be stressed more in terms of aging and how it affects our body and how it affects our bones and like fall prevention, things like that. So we really push resistance training, but we offer a lot of modalities for strength training. So we have powerlifting, we work with kettlebells, we have body weight stuff, we have dance classes that are usually themed and people wear costumes. So we just had a cowboy themed dance class where we raised money for Rainbow Railroad. Yeah, so we raised $500. So it's always bigger. It's a bigger picture. Like, we are really trying to represent and provide a safe space, but also there's a social justice element to what we do as well. So we discuss things that they go along with health that you don't really consider, like language. So we don't gender exercises when we do exercises in our class. When we do boxing, I don't say do girl push-ups or boy push-ups. You do a push-up or a modified push-up. So that's really important as well. Any classes I offer? So kettlebell, powerlifting, boxing.
Boxing, general fitness classes, of course. But then our semi-private training is what we do with our clients. That's most similar to personal training, where we work with between 1 and 3 clients at a time, and we take them through a customized program that is based on their goals and based on a functional movement screen that we do with them, so that we can truly address the weak points and build up on those. And with that base, they're more able to do those fun classes and kind of throw themselves into stuff that maybe they haven't done before.
That's awesome. And I love the way that you've kind of combined both your skill sets. Like, you're really into powerlifting.
Yeah, I love it.
And you're really like into martial art and boxing and things like that. And you kind of made that synergistic, space now where you can offer all of those different modalities. That's so cool.
And Steph taught me boxing and competed as a powerlifter for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she did very well.
Very cool, very cool. So tell us about the past, like how you got into how you got into boxing and so forth. Like what was that moment that triggered you into that pursuit?
Well, I've always been a martial arts junkie, and before like this life as a fitness person, I say person because I do a lot of different jobs, I was in finance. And I kind of got to the point where like finance was boring. I didn't really have passion there, but I was teaching these classes. And I think it was around 2012, women were finally allowed to box at the Olympics. So think about that. 2012 was the first year that women were allowed to compete as boxers in the Olympics. So for me, that was really wild in that I didn't want to go to the Olympics per se, but it just opened up a lot of opportunities. So I started to be able to spar more, compete more with more women doing it, and more women were attracted to me doing it. So as I was doing it, people were like, well, if you're doing it, I can do it. So I think that's a down-to-earthness maybe that I have, that when I do something, people feel like, oh, she can do it, I can do it. She makes it accessible for me. So with the boxing, Ron was my strength coach. We started kind of merging what we did together.
Yeah, for sure.
So I taught a boxing class, and then he would do strength and conditioning after.
Is that how you guys met, by the way? Or
Yeah.
oh, wow, that's so cool.
So, do you want to hear a fun story?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so this is real. When I met Ron, I didn't like him. So he replaced a trainer that I had been working with at a different gym, and they're like, well, you're gonna be working with him now. So I kind of put him through the business, and like there was like, I give him cut eye and roll my eyes at him and stuff like that, just because I was just more upset that I lost my trainer and nobody really explained. And then Ron was here, but somehow in me not liking him and
Yeah, I didn't catch the she didn't like me part.
he thought it was like,
I thought it was interest. You know what I mean? But anyway.
so we decided to go out, and the rest is history. I guess. Here we are. So he wore me down.
Yeah. Terrible.
And you know, I think when two people come together and you have that bond together, that you just like anything that you guys do together is like filled with passion, filled with just support, and it just breeds like this amazing atmosphere. You know, I visited lots of sort of fitness studios that are husband and wife founded, you know, across North America. And that's what I found, that you guys, you know, together have just built this incredible thing. It's a family thing. You kind of bring that in. Everyone is part of that family.
That's the goal, absolutely.
Absolutely. And we do complement each other very well. In that all the things I'm not very good at, Ron is very good at.
And vice versa, for sure.
So we kind of fill in the gaps, and Aziza and Ripley round out the teams. That's how it works.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. And so of the classes, what would you say, like really, because I know the class that I'm going to be taking, it's the flow kettlebell.
Yeah, kettlebell flow.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like kettlebell work with a dance spin. So there's a choreo element. So we'll get into some formations and doing movements together with the group. So that's more of like a dance class,
Okay.
But with weights.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you guys stay tuned for later in this episode, because you're gonna actually see me with my two left feet attempting some of this stuff. So
You're gonna do great.
You're gonna do fantastic.
You're gonna do awesome.
Awesome. So yeah, tell me about sort of like your software story, because I know you guys are Wellness Living's Stanwood Studio grant winners and stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah. What did that mean to you? How did that help you guys? Like, talk us through that story.
It was a lot of help, absolutely. Steph handled most of that, so I will defer.
Oh man, it came at a time where we were just beaten up. We were really, really beaten up. I had applied for several grants that year because it was during the pandemic. There was a lot of shutdowns. So we
500 days of shutdowns for
so
Canadian gyms.
Yeah.
We have a bit of a hole that we're fighting out of right now. So when I got the call, I think it was Deborah called.
Yeah.
And she had called a couple times. I didn't know who it was. I was like, who's this Debbie calling? I ignored the call, and finally when she called, I thought I was being punked. I was like, who is this? For real? For real? So it just came at a fantastic time. Wellness Living, like we were with Mindbody, and during the pandemic, they weren't really helpful.
We weren't really their kind of business.
Yeah.
It seemed like.
We're
You know
about
what I mean?
relationships and kind of give and take. If we're struggling, it's like you're going to help, and then we'll do better together in the future. But we didn't really get that help, but we got that with Wellness Living when we transferred. We got lots of support, lots of training. I know I can call and get somebody right away. It's not 48 hours for somebody to get back to me. When I stumbled, because it's learning a new language, learning a new software, again, there's always somebody who's super patient, walk me through it. And then once I'm done, they send me resources so that I can file those. And if I run into that problem again, we have a file that I can just pull out how to do this, how to do that. So that's been fantastic. This part is fantastic, but just
Amazing,
having that relationship is really important to us, because that's how we work.
That's the community thing.
We
again.
work by relationship, so it's important that the people that we work with also have those values in place for us to continue. It's like you can't just stick with us when we're successful. You have to help us when we're struggling a little bit, and then we can be successful together. So Wellness Living has been amazing, and with the grant, it's been outstanding. And just grateful, like that somebody's
awesome.
like, we believe in you, and we're gonna help you through this.
100%. And sometimes that's all it really takes, is someone really kind of believing in you, and then you kind of run from there, and you kind of say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and here you are doing it, you know. So that's so awesome. And also like just Wellness Living in general, like the way I kind of like to run the company is, yeah, we're growing, we're kind of getting to the point where we're kind of a big company now, but those sort of the small business is always going to be our core. It's always going to be like my personal passion is doing stuff like this where I get to talk to customers. It means the world to me because all that hard work that we do in the, when we're in the office and there's a lot of stuff going on, at the end of the day, it's all about the customer. And we just want to make sure that you guys are happy, that you guys are successful, and we're here to demonstrate, our support for you and all SMBs out there. So.
Incredible. It's quite a gesture. We really appreciate you coming by today. Really cool.
Yeah, awesome. There's lots more stuff coming up. Talk me through, I know a lot of businesses out there are, kind of, they're kind of afraid of change, right? And one of the big things is the fear of data migration. It's like, I've been with X company for so many years and all my credit cards and clients are in this other system. How on earth are we gonna transition to this other software? Tell me how that transition unfolded for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say it was not challenging because it was challenging, and I did have the fears that you just expressed, like I'm used to using this, it works. I don't know how it's going to work when it moves over, but like I mentioned before, the support was there. So I had somebody walking me through it. So it wasn't like I was by myself trying to do this. Also, we communicated to our members what was happening. So they knew if they found any hiccups, they would let me know and we could work on it. So we all worked together with the data migration, and that's basically how you deal with all challenges, right? You find people who know what they're doing and they walk you through it, and you explain to the people around what's happening. And so we all knew what was happening, and we were migrated in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So
great.
Yeah, and that was with training and all the information, and some of the stuff didn't come over, but like it was fine by the time we were done. And I would say I was probably using it with the same confidence and comfort level that I was our previous carrier in about a month. It took about a month before I was like, yeah, okay, I got this.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
That's good.
We really pride ourselves on that sort of that white glove onboarding treatment that, you're going to get a dedicated person to kind of guide you through the process, provide training, do all of that, because we know this is the operating system of your entire business, and we take that responsibility super seriously. Stuff has to work at the end of the day, and information needs to be transferred and it has to be correct, and your business can't skip a beat, right? So super important, and we recognize that. Now, as far as like standout features of the software, like it's a very robust software stack that we put together. There's lots of different features. What are sort of standout features that really kind of set us apart from some of the others that you may have used in the past, or that really kind of make the difference in your business?
So from a member standpoint, visually, our members have communicated to me that visually they like the way things are laid out better on Wellness Living than our previous provider. So that's important for us because they're the ones that are using it as well. For me, standout, when we were using FitVid, I think it was FitVid Live, that was incredible. The quality of being able to record classes. So if somebody missed a class, they could go into the video library, pull up that class, which we would record live for them on Zoom, and then they could do it at home. So we were just coming out of the tail end. I think when we migrated, it was after the last shutdown. That was really good, but as things opened up, people stopped using that, but that was really amazing. Also, when we introduced it, Wellness Living's like, okay, this is new, we're gonna give it to you for 3 months free, right? So like even that, like giving me the time to kind of tinker and play with it and not have the added pressure of, oh, I gotta pay for this thing and it's gotta work and I gotta get a return on investment. That wasn't ever a part of it. And like I said, it was great. We had a few members that used it, but as things opened up, people wanted to be outside more and do things like that, so nobody wanted to really use Zoom. Yeah. But I think it's gonna come back in terms of people trying to fit in things, especially when they're traveling. So that's a big part of what we do and kind of the members we deal with. They travel a lot, so being able to be like, okay, I'm gonna do a stretch class in my hotel room. That's really been a game changer. For sure. And it keeps that engagement going, right? Absolutely. So they don't forget you. Hey, look, I can still
I can still take a class. I can still take a class. I can see what Steph's up to, what kind of class, what kind of stuff is Ron doing, and yeah, I want to take that class. And they can do that anywhere from the comfort of their home or wherever they're traveling or whatever, if they're, wherever they are. So that was a really important feature, and it helped a lot of businesses out during the, those shutdowns, because those were just brutal. Here in Canada, it was pretty bad, right? Like,
Yeah, it was rough.
yeah. So that's awesome, and I know from a client experience, like we really focus our attention on both. Like you as a staff member things have to be easy for you, right? They have to be laid out properly, but it's even more important for the client, because at the end of the day, those are the folks that you really have to please. They really have to be given that awesome, quick, easy access to booking classes, updating their credit card information, or buying things and all of that. So we made that the app experience and sort of the client experience, like we really focused our attention there to kind of minimize clicks and give them an easy workflow to accomplish the things that they need to do. So
absolutely. Another feature that we haven't used, but I'm excited to use, I just haven't gotten a chance to kind of categorize things, is the black belt system.
Oh, yeah.
So we have boxing classes and we have kettlebell classes, and kettlebell has progression. So at some point, a lot of what keeps people coming back is the community, but it's also praise for things that you wouldn't really get praise for in your regular life. So it's like if you can do 5 push-ups and you go to work and you're like, I can do 5 push-ups, you'd be like, good job. Nobody care. But here you're celebrated for those milestones. We put it up on social media. When someone comes in, it's like, hey, Len, you finally did the good job. You get a high five. So it feels good to get that. To get that validation, to keep going.
Success momentum.
Yeah, so with the black belt system, I know clients love, like we give out stickers and things like that. I know once that's implemented, it's gonna be huge.
Awesome. And we're always working on new things and things like that. And part of the CEO tour is really finding out what features you guys are using and loving, and other things is, the other aspect of is, hey, what can we improve on, right? And what can we do better to help serve you guys as business owners? So this has been awesome. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to the class.
You're gonna do so good.
Yeah, I hope so. But thank you
Thank you so much
for all that.
Thanks for visiting us.
Steph. So what do we got going on over here?
Well, welcome to Iron Lion Training, where we can find our power and the pride. So it's not just about physical. Here we like to train our brain as well. So over in this corner is our puzzle corner, and we have some brain games that people can play. And this is just like a place where you can relax and just work your brain and not your muscles. We have some props from some fundraisers, so it's kind of fun for the kids to come and get pictures with Tui, who's a monster from Little Shop of Horror. And we try to keep the balanced area just really chill, and it's a good place to cool down and stretch and even just hang out. So we try to keep it like a community cool area.
Cool.
Yeah.
And in this area here, I see balance.
Yeah.
So what goes on over here?
So we have a lot of breathing, a lot of stretching, a lot of relaxing, a lot of therapy with Ripley, because this is her little area. So sometimes people just honestly come and collapse and lay beside her and pet her for pet therapy. Aziz might do some stretch classes in this area as well. And this area has the best light, so sometimes people just come and take pictures in this area. So This is what happens in the balanced area.
Cool.
When you come in, we have tons of plants. We've bought no plants. We've become a foster home for plants. So a lot of our members bring in plants, but they all thrive and we love it. When you come in, it's bright and colorful. We try to have as much color coming in, which is a little bit different than a typical gym. Lots of different splashes of color as you come through. In our functional training area, we have a lot of functional equipment that you don't typically find in gym settings. You find them in specific gym settings. So we have like a lot of barbells, we have a sled, we have a track, we have one cable machine. We don't have a ton of machines here, but we do have one cable stack. In this area is our strength area. So there's a platform here. This is where our powerlifting team will do deadlifts and they can drop the weights. And look at Marilyn as they lift weights.
Cool. I love the sled. The sled's like super.
A lot of fun. This whole track is just a lot of fun. We do a lot of fun things on it, with and without the sled. So this is our rig, and as you can see, it's prepped for our powerlifting team. So they're going to be squatting today. all different heights. When they come in, they'll get a sticky with the numbers they're supposed to reach, and they'll pair up and they'll start warming up. So it's just very simple work, simple lifting. So this is the simplicity area. Over here we have Bruce, but we also have a few machines. So we have, this is a leg press, but it's also a reverse hack squat. So it's like a duo machine. And then we have our reverse hyper from Westside Barbell.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we are coming over into the community area, which we do a lot of our boxing, martial arts, and kettlebells. So this is the area I spend a lot of time in. You'll notice lots of dents in the floor, and we love it that way. That's where kettlebells have been dropped. That's where people are pivoting. And this is where we do our martial arts. We also have a big old tire in the corner that people can hit with a sledgehammer. The most important thing in this area are the rules, and these rules are important because I've been asked for these rules from lawyers, CEOs, because they share them with their team, because these are rules that we use them in martial arts, but you use them in life. So if you have somebody who talks negatively to themselves a lot, like no negative self-talk, be coachable, be prepared. You mentioned this earlier, movement is a privilege, so we remind people of that. Like, you get to come here, you get to move your body, so we celebrate that. Nothing will work unless you do, so we ask people to bring their effort. Be patient, don't cut corners. And we're Canadian, so we say sorry a lot. So there's a lot of classes where people make mistakes, and we let them say sorry 3 times, and then we're all doing push-ups. So we try not to say sorry for learning, because kids don't do that when they learn, and that's why they learn better than us, because they just are in it. So we use that as well. So this is our learning space for boxing and kettlebell work.
Awesome, awesome. And I love the name Iron Lion. So tell me where that came from.
So I mentioned earlier that a lot of women were seeking me out for strength training. A lot of my mentors, like who help me in business, are women. So if we look at like a Lion Pride, it's usually the women that are running the pride, and it's those powerful women that keep everybody safe and so we are a safe place, but we're that way because we have this like matriarch of powerful women that have helped us along the way. So that's how we say find your power in the pride. It's usually the women that are the drivers of that. And I mentioned, like, I usually attract the women, and then they bring their husbands, and then they work with Ron, and then they bring their kids, and then that's how we round out accounts, right?
Yeah,
so now we're working with the whole family. So that's how the whole, and when I was boxing, that was my name as well. So that's how it expanded. So when I was boxing and we were trying to figure out branding, this is what my mentor and I came up with, because that's what I was doing at the time. I was sponsored by women, I was being mentored by women. So that's the Find Your Power and Pride.
I'm so gone, no, I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack.
Ron, thank you so much. That was so much fun. I'm sweaty. I'm still.
You did so good.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I had the amazing warm up with you. I'm using those rollers for, like, I think the first time ever. So that was awesome.
Good.
And then I had an awesome kettlebell class. I'm doing some flow maneuvers with Steph. She's running a class right now, but that was just an amazing experience. I really enjoyed it.
We're so happy to have you here today.
I got a big smile on my face. I really, really love it. And again, like, a big thank you for allowing me.
We can't thank you enough for being here today. It's fantastic. It's such an honor. We really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you.
The schedule's laid out really great, so I can see the schedule, but when I do things behind the scene, there's a little icon. I can go to my setup. I can set up events. So we usually have an event once a month, a bigger event once a quarter. It's fairly easy. I just go to the services, I check what service I want to do, I drop in a picture, and then I just schedule it, and I can send out an email directly from the event, which is pretty cool as well. I don't have to go somewhere else to send out that email. I use reports a lot, so when I go to reporting if I need to know how much we're going to make that month or how to fill in the gaps for the month, I can do that a month ahead. I also look at reviews because it gives us an idea of how people are feeling about the classes. So when I go to reviews and people do a class, they put exactly how they felt in that class, which is good. So there are tons of review here on each class, each event. People like that it's clean, people had fun. So that's good feedback. And so we can keep adjusting to what members need. I can also leave notes on client accounts, just so if there's anything that one of our trainers needs to pay attention to. So if they've forwarded anything from physio or doctor, or there's a note to be careful of, I can put it here, and then it will show up as a note on the phone, when they log in to work with the client, that they can see what to do. So yeah, everything is laid out pretty good. I wouldn't say there's anything really that is buggy or needs work, really. It's pretty intuitive, and the most important thing is it's pretty intuitive, so I can be done with it fast. I'm usually not here a lot in front of the computer, so when I'm focused and want to do things, I can get through it fast and then work on building relationships and marketing and things like that with our clients. It's the same thing. There are some features I don't have on my phone, which it's good if I sit down, but for signing people in, we try to take everything out of the client's hands because our clients are busy too. So when they come in, we say hi and we sign them in. We check them out, we check our notes. If anybody sells protein shakes or anything like that, shirts, they can do it right through the app as well. So they stay engaged with our members. They don't have to go somewhere and type something in. They can just do it from the phone, super simple, and put it back in their pocket or wherever they leave it. We usually don't carry our phones around. We're usually not on our phones a lot. But it just makes it easier for the client to not have to do the extra stuff.
I'm so gone, no, I'm never turning back. I won't stop.
All right, so we got another CEO tour done. This was amazing, first time ever, kettlebell flow class at Iron Lion. I gotta tell you, if you're in Toronto and you're looking for an absolutely incredible class experience, personal training, functional training, weightlifting, kettlebells, this place has got it, and you absolutely have to try it out. Amazing. Steph and Ron, awesome. Married couple, built this place with full passion. Incredible place. Amazing energy. Make sure that you check it out. Also, make sure that you like and subscribe this video. Put your comments down below. I'm personally answering all questions, answering all comments. If you're a studio anywhere in North America, I want to come and visit you. Put down. I'll come and see you on the CEO tour. This is what this is all about. It's all about you guys. So thank you all again for being part of the Wellness Living family. Till next time, everybody.